Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is required. I grew up in Hammond, Indiana. My parents were from the South, so Reverend John and Marie Parrish, and they came from Memphis, Tennessee, and moved north in the late 40s after my father served in World War II. Blue-collar workers, but they're very engaged in the community. As I mentioned, my father became a minister. They're involved in the civil rights movement and in the community as far as volunteers. But they always gave to the community by serving and by paying tithes and things like that. But June 19th, 1989, I opened my first restaurant in Pleasant Grove. We've grown where right now we have 27 restaurants. And the Dallas Business Journal has ranked my company the 5th largest minority-owned company in North Texas. Part of the opening package, you have to give $500 to a local charity. I did cut a check for $500 to the local YMCA in the Pleasant Grove community. And so that kicked it off with giving to high school sports, high school cheerleading. I know early on I wanted to do something different, so we sponsored a chess tournament in Pleasant Grove for a couple of years, the medical clinic in Uganda, which I named after my parents, and that serves orphans, and they're orphans because their parents have died from AIDS. And so that's very fulfilling. I do an annual event with the African American Museum, and that was really one of the first citywide things that I've done. We've given several thousand bikes. We give 350 bikes a year to 5th graders across the Metroplex. We've done that now. Wow, we're approaching about 18 years. The African American Museum asked me if I wanted to be a grand marshal of a rodeo, Cowboys of Color. Of course, I said yes. And they said, well, do you know how to ride a horse? I said, not really. They said, well, you could ride it on a pickup truck, or you could take riding lessons. So I did a crash course. I had 8 weeks, and I took a crash course, and I learned how to ride horses. So I rode in the rodeo on a horse. And so I continued the riding lessons and eventually leased a horse and eventually bought a horse. So I'm a true Texan. I have cowboy boots. I ride about 2 or 3 times a week, but I still take lessons, so I'm still learning how to ride. I can ride Western, I can ride English. You know, I'm a child of the 60s. And if you study, you know, that was the era of protest. That was the civil rights era. I mean, the assassinations, Medgar Evers, Dr. King, John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and in affirmative action. And some of the programs that I've attended or that I see now, like the Black Cultural Centers in a lot of schools, those happened in 68. A lot of them had their celebrations in 2018 and 2019 because the country became very conscious and started having programs to recruit African Americans to schools. Purdue always had teachers and athletes, but then they set up a program to recruit African Americans for the business school, recruit them for pharmacy, recruit them for engineering. And so a lot of these programs were a result of the Dr. King killing and things that happened in 68. I see that, I always say, okay, I'm a child of the 60s, that protest generation. How can I make a difference? Human rights, social justice. I see the way out for the African American community is to get an education. So that to me is one of the I guess platforms that I can have to continue the civil rights movement, is to do what I can to educate the young African Americans or people of color. And I'm even open. My scholarships have been won by Anglo people. So I just think education is my part of saying, hey, I'm still part of the civil rights movement. So I'm not a trust baby. I'm like Donna Summer. I work hard for my money.